We're going to be using is a thermal imaging camera. Why would we want thermal imaging inside of a ghost hunt?
So you can see them.
How so?
Oh, their aura.
Wow. Not heat?
Energy.
Cold. We're looking for cold spots, guys. You're overthinking it. Yeah, have fun with this. Promise you. This is, I mean, I know it's a science project, but, like, think simple. So with that said, normally I point out, like, hey, you could see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. I normally make the joke that I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now, but I'm pretty sure these two guys can take me out if I really wanted to, if they really, really wanted to.
No, you got it.
Yeah, so,
this is your thunder.
So he's like, I'm giving it back. It's yours. But I make that joke because we're looking for those cold spots. Those cold spots are going to be blue and black. We're always going to have blue and black in there because, again, this is not exactly a warm night here in Charleston. This is still a little on the chillier side. So the windshields, any aluminum cans on the ground are always going to show up as blue or black.
I'm sorry, what was the first part? The windshields?
Yeah, like windshields of cars, anything with glass. So glass is obviously going to hang on to the cold more so than anything else. So with that said, I'm looking for those blue or black shapes to either take shape or to move on their own. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. Hopefully this is what we capture with these guys. Again, I will tell you, and I give you guys a lot of stats because I'm not a TV show host. Not everything is going to be a ghost with me. I capture 4 or 5 pieces out of this per year that I will put my stamp of approval on. Okay? So, however, it is super cool to watch, and it is a FLIR. So FLIRs, this camera is something a fireman would use, like throw it on their phone real quick to go into a burning building to go help save people. Like, this is the real deal. So this is not like an app you guys can go home and download because you need this hardware to be able to run the software. So with this guy in particular, so I'm actually going to hand this off to Steve. I think he'll have some fun with this. I figured you guys are going to be toggling back and forth anyway. There are vehicles. Looks like we got about 12, maybe 13 in here, so just kind of be mindful of those. We do not go anywhere near these people's vehicles. They get really weirded out when a bunch of blinky lights are coming near them. So I'm going to giggle every time I say blinking lights now. It's just like that, exactly, because that's a great giggle. So the 34, like, I'm excited about that. Keep in mind, like, we normally get an average of 18 to 22. Your TV sets off about 40 to 60. So we're almost at what your TV gives off, depending on what you got plugged into the back of it. So let's spread out. Let's have a good time. I'll be doing like 2 or 3 round robins with you guys to see what you got going on.
Okay. Do I hit
Yeah, you
the
guys
button
all.
now?
Yeah, oh yeah, unmute for sure. You guys listen together. You can ask things out loud, or you can just focus on it. So it's not like I don't ask the same questions to Eliza every night. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just like on TV, right?
Yeah. All right, so ask her what happened to the house. Eliza, what happened to the house?
Let's move forward. They said the house was towards the back.
Yeah, we were back by the servants' quarters.
Eliza, what happened to your house? I heard a hiccup, a C, what you see.
All right, good stuff right there. Eliza, how many people lived at your house? Eliza, did you do any farming at your house? That's a yes or no question.
How about S? Miss Eliza, what was your favorite time of year?
Let me do this and try and keep them in it so I can. Miss Eliza, how many horses did you have on your property?
You heard anything?
I heard 11.
Part of the date.
Oh. Okay.
Again, very specific number. It's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited. She's actually got the word England that she heard so far.
England?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are talking about a woman whose family is from England. So she asked where she was buried, and it said Church, England. It's the incorrect answer, but I'm taking England as she's letting us know, like, she's an English woman. So again, why would we hear the word England over a Charleston radio station? That's how I look at this. No such thing as coincidence.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Same thing as no such thing as coincidence that you heard the number 11, and that's the only thing you've heard so far.
We couldn't make out the other words.
If you can't make it out, you weren't meant to hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the way you look at it.
Okay.
So, and again, sometimes if you have like you're not sure if you heard house or mouse, it's your first instinct. So
Okay.
just be confident and like, hey, I heard house, maybe mouse, but I'm pretty sure it was house.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
write down house.
Okay.
Okay.
So, anything weird on the cam?
No.
Okay. And again, 4 or 5 a year.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But again, I do find those cold anomalies from time to time, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is, and it's like moving across the heated wall, because the wall should be a little bit more higher in temperature than the ground.
Okay.
So when I'm watching this part of the video, I'm mainly watching the wall because that blue dot will go across the wall when the wall is the warmer part of this whole
Oh,
area.
okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
A lot of thermodynamics that
I,
go into this.
I spun around trying to keep some of us in it as a variable.
Yeah. And I say try to.
Yeah.
You know, when we have a larger group, obviously much easier to do.
Yeah.
But with just 5 of us out here, like, I'm excited already. Like, this is me excited. I'm not a TV show host. Like, you guys have relevant things already, which is good. So Eliza's hopefully going to play along tonight. Fingers crossed.
Does she like to play along? Be fun?
Does when I have respectable people.
Gotcha.
Well,
Yeah.
we heard 11 when we called her Miss Eliza. Instead of
Not
just
surprising.
Eliza.
You would probably even call her Mrs. Pinkney, and that would that would also be very respectful for her.
I heard hello.
It's too vague. We've
Yeah,
already been
yeah.
here. The hello should have came right at the beginning. Should have been
Gotcha.
part of the conversation.
Alright, gotcha, sure.
A lot of kids will tell me, I just heard the word hi. Eliza's not going to use the word hi.
No.
Like, know your ghost. I just told you she's from the 1700s.
Right.
Like, did you not go to history class last week? Come on, guys. Try to get the rest of the date. I hope you get
Okay.
it.
So did you see her house burn down? Do you know what happened to her?
No, that's what we're supposed to ask. Miss Eliza, what happened to your home?
So You see Ghost? Well, here goes.
And then water. Are you tearing up? Your eyes watering?
Yeah. You?
No.
I don't know why mine are. I think it's cold. I don't know. Miss Eliza, what's the rest of the number that Nick's looking for? So we heard 11, but we think we're supposed to hear something else.
I just heard why. One. I heard a table. Let's see, we heard one and we heard table. At least I did.
One table.
One table.
Separately? One
Yes.
and then table?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shortly after, table shortly after one.
It's an interesting piece. It's almost like encrypted. I'm reaching, and
Yeah.
I want to see what else you get out of it before I explain it. And remind me before we leave the space to actually fully explain it.
And he's overcome and tearing up. I'm like, what just happened to you?
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm absolutely fine.
I mean, are you being overtaken with emotion?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I was just like, why are your eyes so watery?
Well, staring at that
Yeah.
goofy thing will do that to you too.
Oh, that's true.
But I've actually had people show emotion in here because there
Really?
is a tragedy that occurred.
And I'm terrible with tragedy.
Oh, yes, he is.
I am.
How are you with tragedy with children?
Oh, even worse.
That's
Yeah,
worse.
That's probably where that's coming from.
Yeah.
He had recently had to find a 15-year-old in a pond, like a month ago.
Yeah, pulled him out. Unfortunately, pulled him out of a pond.
Wow.
He was running from the police. It was very stupid.
What was that?
Shallow around the space.
Is that what it said? You heard that better than I did.
And she got water at one point in
Oh,
time.
yeah, I got water at one point. That's right, I forgot water.
The shallow around the space is like a weird phrase that we wouldn't normally hear on the radio. That's why it caught my
Yeah,
attention when
well,
you
it
said
was
it.
mixed voices.
I'm gonna follow with them one more time just because they kind of switched.
Okay.
She was having a little bit of a hard time. Like she got a few things,
Yeah.
but he wanted to give it a try. So we're
okay.
giving him a minute or two, and then I'll yank us to the back, and I'll give you guys all the answers. And
Okay.
show you how it all ties together.
Okay.
But don't let me
sounds
forget
good.
about that one in table. Okay?
One in table? Okay.
It's a
Okay.
weird thing for me. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll see how.
And I should keep this running until we're done with our conversation, right?
Yeah, I'll bring you back and say go ahead. And
Okay.
stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Miss Eliza, what brings you peace?
Is it kids?
Said to have them.
Hit stop on it.
Maybe Miss Eliza was having healing call us.
Did you say she had kids?
Yeah, she had 3. Wasn't it 3 kids? 3 Charles or something? Well, I don't know. I know there's 3
Just quickly,
Charles.
what were your kids' names?
Miss Eliza, what were your children's names?
Oh, I heard Charles.
I heard Olive.
I heard Charles. I didn't hear Olive.
Alright, definitely go ahead and put that on a stop if you haven't already. Give your hands a break. You'll just lower your camera, kind of belly style. People get uncomfortable with cameras.
Sure.
And if a tour is going to come in, which I don't know what time it is, but I actually expected a lot more tours out here on a Saturday night. It's just super weird. We have the whole place to ourselves. They'll come out of the Ivy Wall because there's a little set of stairs right there from the parking lot, or they'll come in the same way that we did.
Okay.
All right, so welcome to Philadelphia Alley. This used to be called Dueller's Alley, so this is where some of the duels used to occur.
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. And I say some of the duels simply because dueling was illegal in the 1700s. You had to find a hiding spot. This just happened to be one of them. Oh, by the way, the Pinckney Mansion site that we just left, I told you, like, that's the space that I go through and tell her your names. The reason why is because I had, for several weeks, I was getting very rude ghost hunters. Like, before I really, started setting some standards, like, on who's going to show up. Like, if you show up drunk, I go home kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like people were showing up and like, hey, let's go, Eliza. And then they were taking a leak in the corner. That kind of shit. So I was getting, like, those nasty messages coming through.
Yeah.
So I gave the place a break. And every year I change up my route anyway. Like, I take out one space, add one new one. But I've been going there for so long, and I've been researching that prominent family for so long, I didn't want to give it up. So I just went back one night after a tour and just kind of told her, like, I'll come through, let you know who I'm bringing. I'll do my best to teach them some respect while we're here, so forth and so on. And then I read off the names of who's going to be with me.
Sweet.
So that's the reason why. This space, where we're at now, was going to be the space that I was going to take out this year. However, this damn ghost follows me around everywhere anyway. So during the week, Sunday through Thursday, there's a new location that I've added only because we need complete silence while we're there, because we use a pretty crazy voice recorder, and any kind of foot traffic, car traffic, and wind will ruin that recording. Fridays and Saturday nights in Charleston, not good for it. So my apologies. I don't mean to tease you and say, hey, we could have gone here if you were here on Thursday. But it is one of those things.
Okay.
But this location, let's kind of get into this. Every ghost tour comes down here and tells the same damn story. I'm going to tell you the same story anyway, but I'm also going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a cheesy campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost tour. So that's another reason why I was not going to come here, is because if you've been on a ghost tour in Charleston, you've been here already.
Oh.
That's kind of the mentality. I like to go to the weird spots. But this alley, like I said, was Dueller's Alley. Let's kind of get into this. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that Tommy hears the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. We get it all the time. It's part of the doctor's name. So, doctor moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to start his practice down here and see how it goes. So on his way into town, he had a coachman. The coachman he had set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver. So good luck to you. Who's ordering an Uber later? So
We're
I'll
walking.
we're walking now. But anyway, so somebody was walking by and seen like what was about to happen because he'd been here for a while and he knew the coachman. So he stops the doctor. By the way, the person walking by, his name is Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph's name kind of slowly because he has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. I was getting the letters all the time, RI, from a regular spirit box. So I bought a new device. It's basically a digital Ouija board. It works off of EMF. Anytime there's a spike, we get a letter. So I wanted to make sure we were getting the specific letters. It's a really cool device. It's just not always productive because the ghosts don't really know how to use it yet. So I only bring it out with my larger groups. Again, I'm still teaching them. I've had it for a year, and about 6 times in the past year, I've had the letters RI in consecutive order show up whenever I've talked about Ralph. So take that for what it's worth. Back to Ralph. He tells Doc, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe.
I just heard the word church like 3 minutes ago. And
So-
I heard champion as well.
Oh, I'm not surprised by that. We get that, like competitor, champion, that kind of stuff. We get that here all the time, talking about dueling. But Doc took him up on this offer to go, rent a different room, and the two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. She gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they can be wed. Now, Dr. Ladd knows she's coming down, and he became known as the Whistling Doctor. Another reason why I hate this story. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. Ours just happens to be a doctor. There's some legitimacy to this. We're going to talk about it. However, moving forward, let's talk about why we're in Dueler's Alley. Doc Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So on the way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress they just saw, and the argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Ralph has friends around town, like I said earlier, so he goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Doc saw the ad, rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. Let's settle this shit once and for all. Somebody's going to die. All this over an actress, by the way, just like to point that out.
Yeah.
The two gents came down, back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turn. Doc points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. Just wanted to have the courage to show up, which is normally what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet in his flintlock still, and he puts it in the kneecap. Sorry, Tommy. There's one going down tonight. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc doesn't die. He just fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later after refusing medical treatment on November 2nd of 1786. I'm going to point out 2 things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. He also is a doctor. Probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed because he died. Now, every ghost tour tells you to listen for the whistles. And you just heard how quiet it was before the AC unit kicked on, right? It is always this quiet down here. It can be a busy Saturday afternoon. We're 1 block away from Market Street. You guys just heard how loud that was. It's always this loud down here. Wow, that's kind of creepy.
And so what's up with the birds?
That's the voice recorder I have on top of that building to cue up as soon as I say listen. But they all tell you to listen for the whistle. Now, we do have a camera running plus my voice recorder. We're going to capture a disembodied whistle. It will come from one of our 2 devices. However, I won't say that dozens and dozens of times we haven't had the whistling part of a song show up on Tommy's Spirit Box and the word doctor immediately after. Doctor happens literally coming here forever. So just kind of put that in perspective. I don't look for it, it just happens. Again, you can't make this stuff up. So with that said, if you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through here, with your voice recorders on your phones trying to capture those whistles, just remember that every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland,
do it.
we all throw a whistle down the alley. And I do it every single time I walk by the alley since I've been thrown out of here. Let's talk about that, because I like to talk about how I got in trouble in front of a cop. So, the alley, this also kind of shows off the bit of research that I do for these locations. So the alley didn't always come all the way through the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley. This is where all of the livestock was held for the city of Charleston. So cows, chickens, and goats were down here. And I stopped here at the gate because it was literally about halfway between us. That's just Remy. We're in his house. We'll leave soon. It's about halfway literally between us and Cumberland Street. I came down here with a tape measure one night and just kind of measured it out because I wanted to know. But anyway, what does that mean for you guys about this whole Cow Alley thing? That means that the bricks down on the other side are older than the ones you're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave kids. There's one full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes in others. He's getting a little antsy.
What is Remy, a squirrel?
Oh, he's a rat.
Remy is a rat. Yeah.
Remy.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. So I named him that. But anyway, so I used to take my groups all the way through here for a history lesson on that handprint, because there's nothing paranormal about it. You guys already know how I feel about graveyards, right?
Yeah.
That's the last place you're going to find that kid. November 26, 2020. I took my group of 10 down there and told them, like, I'll point it out, but we're just going to keep on rolling. So they all stopped and huddled around that one brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and I'm also trying to be respectful to the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. Well, the new owner of that mansion came out because we're outside his dining room window. He's pretty pissed, and my daughter thought it was hysterical because her dad's getting yelled at. She was all about it. She was on the tour that night. She was probably 12 or 13, so you can imagine her delight to watch her father getting screamed at. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart, and you guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving. So you guys have scarred me for life. I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. I don't do any holidays anymore. If it's Valentine's Day, me and my wife don't celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's movie night. Like it's, I don't go out. But anyway, the next day was the 28th. I called my partner that actually drugged me into tourism, obviously away from my management career in retail, and I told him what happened with the neighbor down there, and he laughed at me too, just like my daughter did. And he's like, dude, you're not allowed to go down that far. You can only go down halfway. Otherwise, it's residential. It's off limits for tours. So he's like, you got to reroute your group. I'm sold out again, guys. It's Black Friday. I was still new at this. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I told my team that night, I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates, which is obviously what we're discussing next is pirates. So we'll see what actually happens when we get over there. And I've never had anything happen with my gear. I've been there several times looking for this pirate. Nothing's ever happened. So we'll wing it and see how it goes. Tickets were much cheaper. That's what I told them that night. That was in 2020. Before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get something. We go up and around the corner. I winged it. A little bit of information that I did know, because remember, I only have a few hours to do some quick research. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I have no idea what it means. I wrote it down. I do the research for them the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. I was actually pissed off. I have a master's degree in creative writing. No matter what I'm piecing together, I need facts and data. The problem with pirate stories is it comes from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard. So that's a problem for me. Because when you guys find something, I have to read 25 books to figure out if it's legitimate or not. I've read more books on pirates than I've ever wanted to in my entire life. I've watched more documentaries. I play video games with pirates in them just to get a different version of the story. I'm all about sea shanty music now. Like, that's kind of been my jam. You guys get the point. Like, I've turned into, like, this pirate guru.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
95 hours I'm having that game, and I still have more to go. I've defeated it, but there's still more to do. Sorry. Told you. I'm all about the damn pirate stuff. But anyway, so where we're going, everything that pours out of my mouth over there, and it is a very interesting story, has been from a minimum of 2 resources. That was kind of the criteria. I need a minimum of 2 solid resources to be able to verify this particular piece of factual data. So it is a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll even be there. I'll explain once we get to the space, but obviously the raised emotion for this location is obviously the pain of the shot, right? So hopefully we will get things from Dr. Ladd over at the next location, and he shows up at our last location because we will be near his house at 59 Church Street. He loves to creep into that, and I always have to say, dude, you're not welcome here right now. So I'll let you know if he actually starts to do that. So you did get the word church. Did you get anything else out of there?
No, just church.
Okay. Anything above an 8?
Nope.
Anything creepy on the camera?
No.
How's it feel to be muted?
Boring.
I know. Of course, I'm talking. It's boring.
Interesting.
So, before we leave the space, the gate, I always like to show off what this is because not a whole lot of people do. I told you 2 things about this alley. So, first off, there was a wall that was up this way. So, if there's a loser to the duel down here, this was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, I got to take the dead.
Cemetery?
It's a courtyard that gets over to the cemetery. So it wasn't gated off back in the 1700s. But in the event there was a loser to the duel, they can't go up and around this way. That way is too long.
Illegal.
They actually had to double back to get up to the cemetery, and yes, it's still illegal. This was the shortcut. Now, the wrought iron was probably put here in the early 1900s, but you can see that the archway is definitely part of the original wall. So I do like to point that out. And there is a rumor that Andrew Jackson did have a duel down here, but anything dealing with presidents, like, good luck trying to find any facts on that. Like, can't verify any of that shit. So, we ready to learn about some rated R pirates?
Okie
Yeah.
dokie.
Yep.
Nobody got my dad joke? Come on. Do I have to take it a step further?
Rated R.
Oh
Now,
my
if the letter
gosh.
R isn't a pirate's favorite letter, then what is it?
I.
I've heard that one before. That's good, but it's wrong.
How can it be wrong?
It must be the C.
Oh, yeah.
But I actually like it. Somebody said that I to me one night, and I'm like, that's actually a better answer. So, all right, let's go do pirates, guys. Let's do this. Dr. Ladd, come along, sir. You know how this works. You guys are really. I love when I have groups like this, by the way. You can stop your camera if you want to.
Mysteriously turns back on.
My God, what happened to that? Why did it turn back on?
I commanded it.
She's got the woo-woo.
Yeah,
I got the woo-woo.
it does.
The Filipino woo-woo. Alright, so Miss Ann, you badass bitch.
So, what city were you born in?
America?
America?
It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
No, really, Aunt. Where in Ireland were you born? Anything in the corner? Pirate Ann, which was your favorite bow? Who was your favorite bow?
One? And who was your favorite husband?
Oh, true. That's awesome.
Yeah, what else did he say?
Pirate Ann, what was your father's first name? I had boyfriend. Oh, that's private. Get up. Nothing lets me down. Pirate Ann, is there anything you want to tell us tonight? Nothing in the corner? asked if there's anything we can do for it. She said, no. What do you think? Oh, thank you. Let's walk over here.
And what does this building mean to you?
Walk.
Another story around this area. As we get another clue, I'm not even going to bother. So I'll wait to see if the other clue is. Anything else that you heard on it? Yeah, just shout them out. Have threads in them. It's fine. I'll know they're just coming from there. Steve, did you guys hear anything?
Wait, what was our baseline for this?
2.5.
Yeah, I tried 2.0.
It's still near the building. I'm sorry, Steve. Did you guys get anything?
Emily Byer.
What?
Emily.
Did you guys hear anything?
Let's see. I asked her, is there anything that we can do for you? And she said, no. What do you think?
Oh.
Oh, we asked where was she born? And we heard America.
She was not born.
I know, that's what we told her.
Maybe she was reborn here. She
Oh,
did
and-
have a separate identity after she got out of her private career. We don't have no idea what happened to her. Like, after she got home, we have no clue where she ended up. We don't know where she's buried. We don't know how many kids she had. Like, I know I told you 4, but that was just the common number. Some say she had, like, 8. Others say she had 2, but the most common number was 4.
Oh, wow.
Plus the one in Cuba. So technically, I know of 5.
5. We asked which was her favorite husband,
And she
said
said
one.
No,
Boyfriend.
we heard one first,
and then
boyfriend.
Yeah, because technically Calico Jack was not a husband. He was, because she was still married to James during the time that she was with Jack. So until she came back home is the only other time she got remarried. So her lovers are going to be wrapped around 2 husbands because Mary and Calico Jack were in between those. So boyfriend actually
okay.
makes sense here if you really think about it.
Huh, okay.
So we're on the right track. And her and Calico Jack were like best friends.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Like he basically helped her escape the bad marriage out of James. Like come with me kind of thing.
And have you gotten anything?
No, it was odd that like a couple of the items over here were dark blue,
Okay.
but it was really more on the plants.
Yeah, the
It- it
foliage
wa-
would be cooler.
Yeah, but it was substantially colder than what the bricks were.
Okay.
Like bricks were still red,
I'll take a look at it.
and the plants were blue.
If I find something, I'll give you the screenshot and markers
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
So what's in this building now?
It's a museum.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, so it actually shows you all the uniforms that it served, because this was a gunpowder magazine.
Oh,
And
okay.
they talk about the architecture of it. Like, it's the architecture alone is fascinating. I just
Yeah.
don't discuss it anymore because most teenagers don't give
Yeah.
a shit when I'm talking about ghosts.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
stopped talking about it.
Okay.
But it's super cool, and it's super cheap to get in. It's like $5.
Okay.
It's a small building. But again, usually I tell people if you're here during our super hot or super cold seasons, like that's a great $5 to spend because you can spend a good 45 minutes in there.
Okay.
Warm up, cool down.
Oh,
Not
okay.
to mention learn a shit ton of history because again, there's not many opportunities to see buildings that old.
Yeah.
But when we leave, we'll actually go in front of it, so you'll be able to see what the
okay.
front of the building
Okay.
looks like. We're just here because it's in proximity of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
We're actually still on St. Philip's property. Like this parking lot belongs to the church.
Oh, it
Oh,
does.
okay.
Yeah. So that's why these cars are here. They're probably clergy members. So
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed the church. I was
yeah.
like, are we?
That's our tallest steeple, by the way.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So when we have a full moon, the full moon usually lands right next to the steeple from
Oh,
this
that's
angle.
so
It's
cool.
like some
Okay.
great pictures. Like I was like,
Okay.
all right, guys, go be tourists, go take your
Oh,
pictures.
that's so
Okay.
cool.
Before I get into stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that tree right there with the lighting
Yeah,
that we
that
have
is
on
amazing.
I will also tell you if like you're super into history, John Calhoun, your 7th vice president, is buried in that cemetery.
Okay.
His sarcophagus is above ground,
Okay.
so you can go visit that during the daytime. It's usually open until about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Wow,
So
okay.
anything dealing with a president has to be open to the public. So even though he was a vice president, but just
Yeah.
know that Calhoun was not a very well liked person here this area.
Gotcha.
He actually had a 50-foot bust, not a bust, but a statue in one of our parks here downtown. And during the Black Lives Matter movement, like they
Took it down.
Took it
oh
down.
my God, they
I
like.
remember hearing
Well, there was a capsule inside of it, like in the base of it, because the base was huge. Like there was a time capsule in there, like had documents, some money, a lock of his hair. Like it was really cool. Like I was waiting for it.
She heard Florida coach. He makes the decision in 79.
Who makes the decision? Huh?
What decision did he make, Emily?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think if 79 ties to anything. I got nothing.
Probably not.
Florida. I also heard Florida. What were some other things I heard? Coach.
There's a strong possibility she could have been in
74.
Florida at some point.
I'm sure she was in Florida.
Yeah.
That was it. 74. You got that?
He makes the decision. You heard that.
Yeah. I did hear
I got a better
He's
memory.
going to reiterate that he makes the
I
decision.
heard-
Did you notice that?
I see the emphasis there.
He makes the decision.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, I would say we have pretty much a whole lot of nothing going on right
Okay.
now. I think you guys would agree to that, right?
Yeah.
So I say we wrap this one up and I'll explain our last stop. But we're going to head over to this wall. Your camera's upside down.
Yes, it's recording.
So we'll do the experiment first. Normally, because what will normally happen is I would take 2 people here and then take the other 8 over to that monument, give them the history, watch it unfold, and then the 2 people on the bench don't know the history until they get the recording. So I'm not going to torture you guys tonight. So I'll give you the history afterwards.
Damn.
So Steve, that's going to actually go to you. So hang on
Sweet.
for me. And this also gives me an opportunity to help you with your blindfold. Obviously, the glasses are not going to Normally, I would say it's an origami project. If we could figure it out, awesome. But by the way, the blindfold is disposable. I don't want it back. Keep your eye boogers. Yeah, they're yours. All right, so here's how this is going to go down. Obviously, we already had one small little reading that came out of Tommy's device, so we had a 3.0. We have had triple digits show up at this location before.
Ooh, sweet.
Like during this session, so kind of keep that in mind. Now you're not going to be able to hear me, so in the event that you are talking too loud, we have names in front of this mic. Tommy's going to tap you on the shoulder. Okay, you got that, Tommy?
Yeah.
That means quiet down a little bit. When we're done, he's going to tap you on the leg. I will never touch you. So I'll never think of that. Now that means you take off your own gear. In any event things go wrong, you're not feeling right, just start taking things off. So don't make yourself uncomfortable about this. It's fine. You guys know the spirit box is fine. This is a Batman mask. I did think of the ladies when I bought these. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to ruin your hair by going all the way around. So that's how that actually works out. So that goes to you. So let me see the phone out of here. Set this
You
up.
got
Have you
this,
ever done
Emily.
virtual reality before? No. Okay. Normally, virtual reality world would be like 3D in your face, dinosaurs are attacking you, that kind of shit. That's not what this is.
Okay.
So you're going to see like a galaxy like off in the far distance, and then every once in a while a Polaroid will show up in front. You're going to tell me what's on that picture. It might be a piece of art. It might be something else. Oh, by the way, lift up your blindfold for me because we're not done. We're not ready just yet. So you're just going to simply explain what you see. If it's 2 people on a bench with a tree, 2 people bench tree. In the event she's not saying much, I may ask you probing questions. So that just remember, she's not going to be able to know what you're saying. So
She won't be able to hear me?
no,
Oh, okay.
her spirit box is going to be loud enough to where she can't hear any
Oh,
of us.
I got you.
That's
Okay.
the whole point of the experiment.
Okay.
So just briefly, and you might get no images at all. I've seen that happen. Or you might get 12. I have no idea what these images are. And doing this for 9 months, I've yet to see the same image twice. So it's always different. So it's very interesting just to see how things pop up. When I say you're going to tell me everything you hear, it does include yes, no answers. You don't know what I'm asking. I might ask our ghost if I'm wearing a black vest. I'm expecting you to say yes. So kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that about covers everything. So I
Is it
start.
going to sound exactly like how I've been listening?
Yeah, the whole
Okay.
point of this and why you're being blindfolded
Yeah.
is because we're taking away one of your senses to heighten up another one, and you also won't be able to read my lips. So you
Got
have
it.
absolutely no idea what I'm asking.
Remember, shoulder, too loud, leg, you're done.
Okay. Got it.
And remember to talk. Say it in real time.
Okay.
So a lot of people get underneath that thing and they don't say anything for 5 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way that they're not hearing anything come
Right.
out of there. So normally we lift up their earmuff and say, tell us what you're hearing.
Okay.
And we kind of start over. All right, so you're good. So you already know how this goes. So blindfold, then headphones. And then for you, Steve, when you're
And
going to
are
slide
ours connected somehow?
Nope.
No?
That's the whole.
It's like two separate things.
You got it. It should hopefully be one cohesive thing when we're finished.
I got you. Okay.
This is your focus. In the event you get in there and it's a little blurry, just
Yeah.
turn this dial.
Okay.
It'll move the focals around so you can see.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna turn it up now.
Yep. And I ask a few silly questions to make sure that you're not listening.
Got it.
I like to test the teenagers for sure. And all you got to do, Steve, on your end is just look straight ahead. You don't need to like look around too much. Okay, Emily. What color is a blue banana? Beautiful. Timer now is.
Don't you know?
5. Perfect. Henry Timrod. I'm looking for Henry Timrod to come through. If you can push through, and if anybody's here, you are not welcome here at this point. Of course, Dr. Ladd, if you're here, you can just give us the code word.
Come
I
on,
will kind of
judges.
who the judges are. But Henry, let's start off with your occupation. Can you give me something about your occupation? We're only using 2 people tonight. One blindfolded. This is Emily.
Keep it on the low.
She is speaking rather quietly. I know you don't like the noise.
It looks like there's a face.
Okay. What's the face look like?
It kind of looked like a skeleton, but
Or
no
sound.
hair, high cheekbones.
Okay.
Maybe a male.
Is there any skin to like get facial?
It's all skin. It's almost like a dead face.
Any facial hair on there?
No facial hair. All I can see is from like the mouth up. I don't see any hair, no hat.
I want you guys to notice that Emily got really quiet when he started describing.
Yeah. Wondered that.
Henry, back to you, sir.
For the glory.
Okay, perfect. You want to talk about the war that you served in? That's a yes/no question. Henry, you want to talk about the war?
The latest song.
Henry Timrod, can you push forward, please? Can you tell me if Dr. Ladd is here? Dr. Ladd, you can use the green box too. I'll let you use it tonight.
Overwhelming team of talent. Thank you.
You're welcome, Dr. Ladd. Can you give us the code word so I know it's you? So everybody knows the code word is purple.
Show you.
Show me in the green box then. Well, show Steve, not me.
Oh, I should probably pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention. You're fired. Henry, this group has been a lot of fun. They've been very respectful, but they've been having fun by learning about all the other people around Charleston.
In the mix.
Yes, in the mix of the folks. So, can you provide a little bit of answers for us so we know you're here? And just give us something about your occupation. I asked you about the war.
And then
I'm okay for you to pick the topic as well. If you want to talk about something else, talk about your family, talk about your previous occupation prior to your death. Henry, notice how everything has been really vague.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not impressed at all. And I don't know who this guy is that Steve was eyeballing, this Scully looking dude in there.
think I did you.
Henry?
Skull.
Oh?
Yes, a white skull, dead, no skin, smiling, has a black hood, black eyes. Again, no skin. It looks like a skull. There's teeth in it, but the skull is smiling.
It's almost like a Grim Reaper style?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, Grim Reaper.
That is creepy.
Yeah. Still has no relevance. I mean, the guy's dead, but it's not a Reaper. Henry? Notice she got quiet again.
Mm-hmm.
Henry? Can you be very specific for us?
Gotta let
Can you tell us what your occupation was?
downtown.
What was your job? What did you do for a living? I'm going to stay focused on that until we get some answers. We're in about 5 minutes already. We only got 5 minutes left, Henry. Henry Timrod?
Got that feeling.
Feeling of what? Look around its face in there.
Don't you know?
Yeah, it's still like my face is still
Take a chance.
there. It's very
It's still there.
faint. Yes, it hasn't really gone away except when that Grim Reaper appeared. It's very faint, but again, it's like really very pale skin.
Hi.
What was
Big
that?
nose
Hi.
holes.
Henry.
She also said, "Don't you know?" and take a chance.
We're not taking a chance on that, right? You're the one that's supposed to be teaching me more about your life.
Trouble.
What's in trouble? What's trouble?
In a sense.
Henry Timrod. Really need you to push through and give us something specific. Emily's trying really hard to give us everything she's hearing.
Powerful.
So use the words that are coming through those frequencies to talk back
North
to us.
Charleston.
What Charles? Interesting.
She's listening to the Charleston radio stations. I'm not surprised. These are Charleston. Henry. Back to you, sir. Your occupation, please.
First.
Henry, we're running out of time.
You and I.
Can you tell me how many minutes we have left?
Number 1.
We have about 3 minutes left. It's like the third time she said number 1.
You.
Henry, do we share a similar occupation?
Okay, so I'm seeing a picture. I don't know what it is. It's an old building, maybe a bench, like a workbench
Running?
of some kind.
Okay.
I can't. It's hard to tell what the details in it are.
Sometimes we get items, we have no idea what they're or what they are.
Talking.
Henry, we're having a hard time interpreting this
Couple
image.
weeks
It
late.
looks like it's inside a barn. Like the
Arrogance.
back wall is.
Password. Expensive.
Back wall almost looked like aluminum sheeting going sideways. Like horizontal. That's
Henry, would you want to give us the password for us to go home? What's the password for us to go home? Password is home. We had it 5 times last night, 2 different devices.
Really?
Yes. 4 came out of here, and then we used the word generator, and it showed up there once we wrapped things up.
Ah.
Henry, what's the password if you'd like us to leave? You said the word password earlier. I don't know what any of these images are that are generating. You're not really giving us much.
Grim Reaper's pretty crazy.
Can't wait to see that. He's had 2 dead people in there. So. Henry, did somebody else come here with you that would like to say last word? So we got about 1 minute left. Henry,
Writer. Little.
Henry, we're going to call this quits. Can you say goodnight to us?
The days.
Or you can tell me what sound we hear out of the church right now.
849.
Henry, can you tell us goodnight? I'd like to give you options, so in case you can grab one of the answers. Henry, going once. Going twice. Alright, Tommy, go ahead and tap her out. Steve, you can peel that thing off your face. So neither one of you get up. Sometimes you guys are baby giraffes falling on the ground. You can hit stop on your end. I like to show you guys the images. How do you feel? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you were pretty calm through that. That was